Hey everyone, Misty here. It is July 24th, 2026. It is cycle 4, day 10. My last day that I updated was day 1 of cycle 4. So that day I was doing lots to get ready for a weekend away to go see, to spend the weekend with family. All my siblings, my parents, and my nieces and nephews, my kids, and my grandkids. So I utilized the effects of the steroids that they give me when I get the chemo, because it kind of boosts my energy for a day or two. And I forgot to take, completely forgot to take the nausea medicine, which will kind of give me the opposite effect of the steroid. It wasn't till when I was supposed to be stopping them that I remembered that I was supposed to be taking them. But I guess I didn't need them because I wasn't nauseous at all. So I did do a few things around the house to get things set up. I got watering systems set up and got things packed to go camping. That day, I think that was a Wednesday. Then Thursday, the next day, we got up and finished getting ready and went to the campsite. And I don't know, I had been having a little bit of sore feet, and I had gotten a blister on the side of my bunion, so the side of my big knuckle there. But I was wearing shoes that normally gave me blisters, but I've been wearing them during all this chemo because I really haven't been putting enough steps on to have them bother me, and I just figured that I had put enough steps on that day that it gave me a blister. And as soon as I noticed that it was giving me a blister, I put a band-aid, a blister band-aid on it, and switched shoes and cared for it, because I definitely don't want an open blister. It's another source of infection, possible source of infection. But I had been noticing that my feet the bottoms felt really scratchy and dry and kind of different than other times I feel dry at the bottom. And it was kind of bothersome, and it didn't seem like a priority to really do anything about them, so I ignored it. And then during our family camp out, they were still bugging me, but they were getting not only irritated from the dryness, but it was getting quite painful to put weight on my heels. So we got lots of visiting in, and basically for the camp out, I usually just got my zero gravity chair set up outside our camper, and everybody come in, took turns visiting with me, and it was great. I really didn't venture very far from under the awning. Once I went over to one of the other campers and sat by their fire for, I don't know, maybe an hour, and then I was tired and went to bed. A number of times while I was laying out in my zero gravity chair, I just leaned back and took a nap, which is kind of fun on its own. Sleeping outside is a treat when you don't have to. I had bought some long sleeve hooded thin shirts and some full length pants that are a lightweight a lightweight pants so that they aren't hot, and they have UV protection in them because I was worried about getting sunburn. That's Sunburn is basically a sore, which can turn into an infection. My lips seem extra pink today. It's weird. Oh, I was eating beets. Maybe that's why. Ugh, it's kind of funny. My mind got sidetracked there, so now I gotta try and figure out what I was talking about. So I don't know. I totally lost my train of thought there. Had a great weekend camping with everybody, and when we left from the campsite, we had to go to one of the bigger cities so that my husband could see his eye doctor and do all that. And going with him for that and getting his drops and stuff after, we put on quite a few steps, and I ended up with blisters on the bottom of each foot. So on the sole of my foot, where the weight pressure points were. So my heels were hurting, and the blisters underneath that first big knuckle were pretty sore. So I made sure to bandage them and and look after them. I did get one of those blisters on each foot, but on my right foot, where my blister on the side of my foot, it was just near it. They weren't touching. And it was weird. It made it really hard to walk because there wasn't really anywhere that I could put much weight on my feet without it hurting quite a bit. So after we got back to our camper from doing all Troy's eye stuff, I really didn't do a whole lot. I just napped, and we did go for supper that night with a friend of mine that lives in that city. Excuse me. And then we come home and went to bed and come home the next day. And I basically come home and went to bed. I was wiped right out. Plus my sore feet needed time to just, I suppose, not be used. I come up with an idea on how to distribute the weight off my feet was to use crutches that we have here. Well, that was not successful. I can't lean my left armpit on the top of the crutches because I had lymph nodes removed from there, and that kind of pressure can cause lymphedema. And if I get lymphedema, I'll probably always have lymphedema, so I want to do everything I can to prevent getting it. I tried lowering the crutch so that it would push on my side, more on my rib cage, but that's all sore from my surgery site. So that didn't seem successful. Plus, trying to put my weight on my wrists to hold my weight up off my feet, after a few little steps, both my wrists were definitely showing that they aren't strong enough for that. So the crutches are definitely not a solution. So I basically either laid in bed, sat in my chair, all day except for when I had to go to the bathroom or get a drink, get something to eat. I didn't cook. I just got easy stuff out of the fridge. I've been eating a lot of yogurt because it's easy and fruit. So now today, my feet are definitely feeling a lot better because they've had many days of minimal use. On Wednesday, I went in for my 4th iron infusion. So that night I kind of felt crummy. Yesterday I felt crummy. Today my sorry, that cough is just irritation in my airway from the chemo drugs. There's no infection. I don't have a cold. I don't have anything from that or like that. The cells in your airway, your breathing tube, are fast growing cells, and that's what chemo targets. So they're just aggravated, probably inflamed. So I have a dry, hacky cough that is annoying. I've tried using Ventolin, and that doesn't help at all. I also have a lot of shakes lately, so using Ventolin contributes to that. And I've been having, regularly I've been having, well, all the time I have a high heart rate, but sometimes it gets very high. And if I take Ventolin, that'll contribute to shaking and a high heart rate. So I can't remember, twice now when I've went into the clinic for stuff. One was the last iron treatment on Wednesday, and I can't remember which one it was before. It could have been the iron treatment that I had the Thursday before. I think it was. When I went in there, they started my vitals, and my heart rate was so high that the machine wouldn't allow the heart or the blood pressure machine to start. So my blood pressure was 133 the first time, and I was quite shaky, and I talked with the nurse, and she says, well, how about we'll let you sit for 5 minutes and see how it goes. I said, yeah, that's great. I was really shaky coming in, and I'm still trying to get settled from coming in. And so I sat for 5 minutes, and she come back, and my heart rate was still high. It was still, I can't remember what it was, but it was still over 100. But the machine's safety doesn't stop it from doing blood pressure readings at that level. So it took my blood pressure reading, and it was fine. My blood pressure's actually been lower after a couple cycles of this chemo, which is kind of interesting, but good at the same time, because it's been high for the last few years. Just had a lot of stress. So then on Wednesday when I went in, the nurse, hooked me up to vitals, and I had been sitting there for quite a while already. She had put my IV in already, and I talked to her about a few different things, and then she put my put my vitals on, and oh, excuse me. Oh, I wish that would stop. She put my oxygen reader on my finger and the blood pressure cuff on my arm, and started it all, and my heart rate was too high again. The blood pressure monitor started to pressurize and stopped after 2-3 seconds. My heart rate was too high. So we sat there with that thing on my arm and finger and watched, and it only took a few minutes, but my heart rate come down low enough that they could do my vitals. If they couldn't do my vitals, they wouldn't be able to give me an iron infusion. So I don't know. That night my heart rate was high. I ended up taking Tylenol that night because I was kind of feeling achy. I think it's because I had the Grastofil injection too close to my iron infusion, and it just causes my bones to hurt, my bone marrow to hurt. So that evening I took Tylenol, and that actually, I don't know, I doubt it was, I don't know, maybe it was a coincidence, but my heart rate was high And then half an hour after I took that Tylenol, my heart rate come down to about 100. And I don't know how long it stayed there, but the next day it was still above 100 the whole day. I do have one of the little finger monitors at home for doing blood oxygen, and it takes your heart rate. One time it actually showed 90 for both, and I was like, holy smokes. So 90 is good for heart rate, but 90 is not good for oxygen level. Right now my oxygen level is 95 and my heart rate is 110. So my heart rate's pretty high for just sitting here. It shouldn't be that exhausting having a little conversation like this. And I've been sitting here for 15 minutes recording. I don't know, it's been tough. My mental health cup, or whatever you want to call it, was definitely filled up over the weekend, getting to spend all that time with my lovely family. But I definitely needed to rest when I got home. So Troy has taken the next 2 weeks off. I hope I get feeling better, but we'll see. I have my pre-treatment appointment on Tuesday, and hopefully everything is good for that. Wednesday I have chemo. It's the second half of my chemo protocol. I'll be doing the paclitaxel. Out of the ACT acronym, it's the T, which the one brand name, or at least it used to be, was Taxol, but they call it paclitaxel now. Maybe there's a couple different versions of it now, I'm not sure. This protocol has been around for many years. I was chatting with another lady today, and she told me that she had the same protocol that I'm on right now 19 years ago when she had it. And I don't know, she said it's come back now, so they can only use, what the heck was it? It's part of the first two drugs. I can't remember which one it was. It's either the A or the C. A person can only have so much of it in their lifetime, so they have to use a different protocol with her now. But I didn't ask her if she has the same type of cancer or if a different type of breast cancer came back, but I don't know, 19 years of not having it sounds pretty awesome. 50 years sounds way better, but 19 still sounds great to me. Yeah, and then, so I start that on Wednesday. I am pretty nervous about it. Well, actually, I talked with the nurse a lot about it during my iron infusion, because she's one of the nurses that has also done my chemo infusions. If I have just a iron infusion nurse, I don't talk to them about the chemo because they're not familiar with my full file. But I was talking with this nurse, and I was pretty worried about the allergic reaction to the paclitaxel. I've been told that most people are allergic to the binder in it. So most people get flush on their chest and on their face, and they can get itching, and they can get kind of irritation in their by their ears and in their throat. The ears and the throat, they're a little bit concerned of because they watch carefully, I should say, because it can lead up to an anaphylactic reaction. But if it's just flushing, usually that doesn't cause an anaphylactic reaction. She told me that in all her years in the clinic and all the times that she's given this medicine, she's never had to send anyone to the ER. So that's good. Like, I had heard that they just keep pushing the medicine. Even if there's an allergic reaction to it, they just pump you full of antihistamines to counteract the over excessive histamine that's trying to fight this allergen of that binder. But so we had a big talk about it, and interestingly enough, the lady in the next station is doing, and I don't know if it was her first time doing it or if she's done it already. I think it might have been her first time, her first infusion, but she's taking the paclitaxel also. So I kind of listen in for information purposes, not for gossip purposes, and listen to what the nurse told her and what to watch for. And I kind of observed how she handled it, and I learned stuff from that. So she seemed to do well. This lady had nausea. I have been prescribed an as-needed nausea medication on top of the other 2 nausea medications that I have. And I hadn't been told before from the nurses to bring it, but the nurse asked her if the other patient, if she had brought it, and she hadn't. So I come home and I immediately put it in my chemo bag. Why not? If I don't use it, no big deal. If I need it, I'll have it. And I don't know. I don't think listening in on other people's stuff is the best, but when it's for the right reasons, sometimes I think it's just meant to be, and I feel a little better about going and doing this. I'm, I guess, less stressed about how bad the reaction will be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not having the greatest day today. I've pretty much spent the whole day in bed. Spent all day yesterday in bed. I probably would have spent the day before in bed, except I had to go for the iron infusion. Yeah, I don't know, just one of the tough times, I guess. Some days are good. I'm not going to share any pictures of my family in these videos because I haven't asked them, and I know this is public for everybody to see, but I will see what I have for pictures of me at our family campout and just add them in to show that I was having a great time. Yeah, so anyways, I will sign off, and thank you guys all for checking on me and all your well wishes. I know they're helping keep me positive. I am positive. I'm just not feeling great right now. I keep telling myself it's temporary. Just get through all this, and then I can start feeling better. Yeah, so thank you, and I will add some photos here. Oh, the hanging basket that had the robins in it. I was really hoping that while we were away that the baby robins would fledge the nest, leave the nest, so that when they jumped out and tried to fly and did all that, I didn't have to worry about our dog outside trying to attack them, because he chases birds. She chases birds, I mean. And when we got back, guess what? The nest was empty, so kind of a bummer that I didn't get to see much of it, but that's okay. There's a better chance that all those little birdies got to survive their first little bit of experiencing the big world. All right, bye. I will post those pictures now.